Hi, I'm Dave Myers, owner of 101 Mobility of Greater Philadelphia. Prior to becoming 101 Mobility's third franchise, I had a 35-year career in the coin-operated amusement business. I operated pinball machines, jukeboxes, and Pac-Man video games in bars, restaurants, bowling alleys, and arcades. I worked for Bally Midway, the famed pinball video game manufacturer in Chicago, for several years. And I was one of a team of people that created a touchscreen video game that went into bars and taverns that we sold 500,000 games over the course of 15 years. It was a fun business. It was great being a big fish in a very, very small pond. However, overnight, my industry went away. And I was a 59-year-old guy with 11 and 8-year-old daughters that had to go to college in a few more years. Interestingly, I worked with a business broker, and there was an AmRamp franchise available in the greater Philadelphia area that was owned by a guy that was not being very successful with it. We were never able to come to terms on the deal. I went home after the last negotiation. I Googled ramp businesses for sale, and the 101 Mobility franchise offering came up. I filled out the form. Dave Pasman called me the next day. 2 days later, I flew to Wilmington, North Carolina for a discovery day. A week later, I flew back down and bought 5 territories. What inspired me to become a 101 Mobility franchisee? Tongue-in-cheek, I can say that in 2010, after divesting myself of all of our coin-operated amusement assets and routes that we owned in New England, I was trying to decide what the next phase of my life would be. It was a slow process. I was home 24/7 for a year. And my wife finally said, if you don't get a job or find something to do in a hurry, we're going to have some challenges here. Not really. But that's when I engaged a business broker and took me down the path that I covered a little bit earlier. Now, as I said earlier, I spent 35 years in one of the most fun industries that any man could spend time in. However, the last 15 years have given me the most job satisfaction and personal rewards. Every day I can go home knowing that my team and I have helped people have a better solution to the challenges of their life. I also go home knowing every day that every challenge that I have can be fixed. The challenges that a lot of our clients have are never going to be fixed, but we can do what we can do to help them have a better life as a result of that, of us. Like all of the original 101 Mobility franchisees, we started off with a relationship with the Philadelphia Veterans Administration. We learned installation of ramps, stair lifts, vertical platform lifts with the initial work we got from the Philadelphia VA. I also realized that there was a lot more to the business than the Philadelphia VA, and we started to pursue heavily the retail business and the light commercial business, which actually led us after year 2 or 3 to not working in the competitive VA market in Philadelphia and expand in other directions. We actually walked away from $500,000 and grew our business that same year. Between developing rental programs, growing our client base through realizing that the referrals could come from physical therapists and discharge planners in rehab facilities, we've grown our business extensively to deal more on the retail end. And with that, we've found on our own solutions to people's challenges that nobody even knows exist, whether it's the physical therapist at a rehab hospital, or whether it's a family that is dealing with challenges of a disabled child or loved one at home. And we pride ourselves on the fact that we can offer people solutions to problems that they didn't even know that there was a simple solution for. I'd like to share a story with you about a family that had a significant amount of impact on Dave Myers and the rest of the 101 Mobility Philadelphia team. The centers around the very first patient lift, overhead patient lift that we ever installed. And I got a phone call from a couple that wanted me to come up to evaluate their home for an overhead patient lift. And I go in, and this was probably 8 or 9 years ago, and this family was probably as old as I am now. And this husband and wife in their mid-70s were taking care of their adult disabled child, who was now 50 years old, who had been born disabled, was very communicative, lived his life in a complex rehab wheelchair, was a big Philadelphia sports fan, and just a wonderful young man. This child had shared the same bedroom with the parents. They lifted him up and put him in his chair and carried him to the bathroom, or pushed him to the bathroom. They'd bathe him. They'd lift him back into bed at night. And all of a sudden they realized that he was getting heavier and they were getting older, and that the chance risk of injury to them would have been devastating. We put the overhead patient lift in, and it changed their lives. Changed my life also. Because I went home after that installation, because I always do a lot of the training on the overhead patient lifts. And I said to myself, these people's entire life has centered around caring for their child. They're getting older. And every day, they're thinking about what's going to happen when we're not here. And you know what? It made me realize that the challenges that me, my company, or anybody I know have is insignificant compared to the challenges that these folks had. And I think about those people every day. Owning a 101 Mobility franchise can be satisfying for someone on many different levels. Not only do you have a business that is growing all the time, more people want to stay in their homes and age in place. More families after the pandemic are caring for loved ones at home rather than putting them in any type of extended care or rehab or long-term rehab facility. And as people get more concerned about quality of life for their elderly parents or disabled people, again, the choice is being made to care for them at home. The fact that we're able to provide and help for that and have a business that is profitable and can support a growing staff of employees as well as the owners is incredibly satisfying. I'm not sure that I'd be happier doing anything else. If I was going to have a conversation with a prospective buyer of a 101 Mobility franchise, I'd say the following. This will be the most rewarding career that you have ever had. You're going to work harder than you ever had. You are going to be developing referral sources. You're going to be training technicians. You're going to be running sales calls. You're going to be learning about things that you never knew existed before. With the growing aging population, couples deciding they want to age in place in their home rather than relocate or downsize, and people bringing parents and disabled loved ones into the home rather than using extended care facilities. This business has unlimited growth. We have solutions to problems here that even professional caregivers and therapists don't understand exist, so that we can help you deal with the challenges to make sure that everyone is safe.